Hey everyone, Backyard Farmer Pat here. Today I'm gonna be planting out some sugarcane and some lemongrass. I just finished a video of planting corn, and that's at the side of my house. And over here there was basically nothing. The soil was completely impacted with weeds. You can see this is the kind of weeds I had to deal with. I cleared an area for my sugarcane and my potato patch, and I just decided to clear this area that's right beside the fence. It gets full sun in the morning. It gets really good sun in the morning, and it's kind of tucked away in the corner. So I figured this is a great spot to place my sugarcane. So the soil here in Palm Bay, Florida is very loose, but it's very sandy. It's all sandy, and it has basically no life form. So what I did was I kind of just forked up the area. I removed all the weeds. I'm gonna do the same in this area. I'll lay cardboard down on the areas that I'm not gonna plant right away. But the areas that I'm gonna plant right away, I'm gonna add some cow manure compost, some raised bed mix, and some raised bed mix and nitrogen. So I'm gonna plant directly in the ground. I'm not gonna plant in a bed for this video. My sugarcane and my lemongrass will be planted directly in the soil. So the top layer is going to be the good soil, but as the roots go down, it will be in the sandy soil. But it's well draining, so I think it will do well. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've got out most of the weeds. I'm basically just using my fork to till it, and when I loosen up the roots of the weeds, I pull them out. Because it's basically sandy soil, it's basically sandy soil, so it's pretty easy to till. You can see the roots are very easy to remove. So wherever I'm gonna have my walking paths. Those will definitely have cardboard and probably some weed block material, because I like to till once. I like to work once. I don't like to be going in and doing a whole ton of weeding. So I'm hoping that I won't get a whole lot more weeds with the cardboard and with the shade from the plants. So I'm having corn on that side, and then I'm gonna have sugarcane and lemongrass. So those in themselves will provide a lot of shade. And if the area is very shady, if the soil is very shady, I'm hoping that will help to keep the weeds down. So you can see tons of weeds. All right. So preparing the ground is very important. Ooh, something hard under here. Oh. Okay, so I kind of dug up the area with my fork and pulled out as many weeds as I could. You can see I have a ton of weeds here, a ton of weeds that I pulled out. Because it's sandy soil, the weeds were pretty easy to pull out. So this is what it looks like now. And I have a couple half bags of Kellogg's raised bed potting mix that I'm going to enrich the soil with. And I'm also going to add blood meal, which is pure nitrogen basically. So blood meal is really good for the sugarcane and the lemongrass, because both are grasses. Grasses do like nitrogen. Grasses also do like moisture. So this will help. This good soil will help to retain the moisture. Since the soil here is so sandy, we want to make sure that there's good moisture retention. I also have a bag of cow manure compost that I'm going to add. Cow manure compost is also great because it's a great source of nitrogen, plus it helps with the soil retention. So let me empty this one. Gonna get probably 2 more bags here, mix it in well. Maybe 1 more bag here, mix it in well. Add 1 bag of cow manure compost, handful of nitrogen, then we'll be ready to plant. if you notice what I did back here, I put some weed block. I had that leftover weed block material from my other bed. I put it against the wall because I have eaves. I have overhanging eaves. So if the rain comes down, it's gonna block the water from going directly against the house. So instead of me planting up against the house, I'm planting like 1.5 feet out, so that everything that I plant will get rain. So, and also this will allow me to be able to walk behind the bed, so I'm not stepping into the bed like Miss Storm is now doing. So you never want to step in the bed. I still have my dwarf naseberry tree there. I will not plant. I will not keep this here. I'm gonna relocate it, but for now I'll just leave it here till I find the right spot. So let's get to planting. So I have a couple sugar canes that my friend gave me, and it has started drying up. So I just stuck it in the pot with my blackberry, and you can see it's already sprouting roots. I also stuck this piece in there. It hasn't started sprouting roots yet, but I'm going to show you 2 ways to plant. So with sugar cane, each joint of the sugar cane, each joint here is a potential for new roots to grow. If you look at where the cane is sprouting, this is at a joint. So roots grow on sugar cane at a joint. A lot of people plant their sugar cane straight up like this, but because you'll actually get more roots if you plant it sideways. So I'm gonna plant this one straight up, and I'm gonna plant this one sideways. Then we'll check back and see how it goes. So let's get the planting. So I'm gonna plant my sugarcane here. The first one right here. It's closest to the fence, if Storm will allow me. Here we go. Plant it all the way down, and let's put the first one in. I'll go a little bit further down. I like to get at least 2 joints into the ground to make sure, you know, more roots grow. All right, so here we go. Now we plant the first one in. When you take this off, you see all those roots. All right, and then you just fill it in. All right, it's just as easy as that. We have our first sugarcane planted. All right, I'm gonna put the camera down so you can see me, and I'm gonna plant the rest. My other sugarcane that I have here, this is from my realtor Carl. This is pretty much very tightly in because it's been in the pot for a while. The lemongrass looks like it's almost dead, but when I plant it, I'm gonna cut back the lemongrass so that it will spring back. Now is really the perfect time to get these in the ground. All these that look like they're dying or struggling, now that it's the beginning of spring and we're gonna be having longer sunny days, it's gonna be just great. All right, so my next one I'm gonna plant sideways, and I'm just moving over like a foot from the other one. It already has blood meal mixed in. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna add a little earthworm castings. Let me put out a little bit around here. Earthworm castings are also very rich in nitrogen. I'm gonna add a little bit, top dress a little bit, sprinkle some in this hole. And then for the sideways, I'm just gonna put it this way. I'm not gonna cover it completely. I'm just gonna lightly, I'm gonna cover it, but just lightly. All right, so this sugar cane has been in this pot I don't know how long. I know Farmer Carl gave it to me months ago, but I didn't have a chance to plant it, and it's like almost impossible to pull apart. So I'm gonna try and cut the roots apart. Normally I wouldn't want to cut roots, but I have no choice right now. As long as there's some healthy roots still attached, it should grow back without a problem. Oh my goodness, it's hard. Okay. All right. That's why it's really good not to allow your plants to become root bound. Plant them in as soon as you can. Separate the roots and plant them in as soon as you can. Pull it apart. This is very hard. Hopefully it will still grow well since it's been in the pot so long. Hopefully it will take off once it's in the ground. Okay, so here it is. You can see right here where the original sugarcane was. The original piece of sugarcane. You can see the end, and you can see it's like completely full of roots. So now I'm gonna plant these two out. Trying to loosen up the roots a bit. I really had to damage these roots in order to get them to spread. So hopefully it'll be okay. Alright, so now we're going to plant these ones. Making sure my hole is deep enough. Alright, so here we go. Try and spread the roots as much as I can. Look at this, completely root bound. I'm gonna just take this root off. And hopefully it will survive that rough treatment. So let's move on to our lemongrass. Hopefully the lemongrass isn't as root bound. Okay, so my phone died while I was planting out the lemongrass, so I didn't get a chance to show you. The lemongrass was extremely compacted in the container, even more compacted than the sugarcane was. There were 2 lemongrass, and what I did was I cut the roots. So I got 3 lemongrass from each container. So here they are, planted out. They were very, very dry. The roots were extremely dry. There was no organic matter at all in the roots. But there is green, so I know it will grow. It's planted in the same bed as the sugarcane. So we know I put in some really good organic matter, and I added nitrogen and blood meal and some really good soil. So I'm gonna go ahead. I just watered it in very well, gave it a very, very good drink, because these are grasses, both the sugarcane and the lemongrass, as well as corn. These are all in the grass family. They do like the rich nitrogen, they like the rich soil, and they like to be kept moist. I'm gonna go ahead and mulch it right now. I've already mulched the walkway. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use that straw to mulch the actual bed, so that I can see the difference, see the separation between the bed and the walking area. So I'm gonna use mulch on the walking areas and straw in the bed. So it just so happens that I'm gonna be cooking some fish later today. So I'm gonna cut these back. Cutting it back will allow it to focus on rebuilding the roots. So I'm gonna cut it back. I'll take these little clip-ins and boil it while I make my fish, so that way the house doesn't get smelly. This is a really great idea anyway, since I really gave the roots a good shock when I had to rip them apart. You don't have to worry about hurting it. It's a grass, it will grow back. Just like when you cut your grass, it grows back. Giving these a good trim will allow it to grow back even stronger. As a matter of fact, let me trim back my sugar cane a bit. All right, and here they are, all trimmed up. I've cut off all the extra leaves on the top so that they have a chance to establish root. They will spring back. So all my lemongrass is cut all the way back. All that lemongrass is cut all the way back, as is the sugarcane. Alright guys, so thanks so much for watching. Till next time, let's plant, grow, and eat together. Don't forget to share this video, and don't forget to share what you're growing. Bye now.